Charlie, always great. We've been on a tear recently, and we said last week on the show, Oracle, very bullish on that. They come out yesterday. The stock is up 15%. Now, that's not 15% over a year. That's 15% in a day.
That was amazing.
Amazing. And you've had just a lot of really fantastic calls recently. We also dropped on our S3 handle on X a call on GameStop, which I know you is near and dear to you.
I love this stock.
One of the great things about doing this show with you is I get equally trolled by the same people, so it's fabulous. Well, it's actually fucking fantastic.
Now you're my friend, so there's no end to the trolling, dude. So they know you've been exposed. They know.
But we, like you, we call them like we see them, and we're the umpire. We're here to call balls and strikes. And a good day for us is when 50% of the people love us and 50% of the people hate us because it's accurate. That's Wall Street. We understand that. We said that a drop in short interest actually was going to be bearish for the stock. The stock has been down. I think it's down 20 to 25% since then. So we had two fantastic picks last week. Next week,
let me ask you this. So let's just stop there with GameStop, because this is fascinating. Yeah. How did that call, just for my stupid journalistic mind, unravel it for me? How did that data point kind of foresee the fact that, Ryan Cohen, who's running GameStop, obviously a smart guy, he's going into crypto. He's trying to do a little bit of a Michael Saylor move with GameStop. How did it sort of know that the stock was going to tank after they announced that they were going to do a convertible that would finance their Bitcoin purchase? I mean, because what was interesting about all that is that people kind of knew he was going to do a convertible. It's been out there. He's talked about it. Stock still traded somewhat higher. And then on the news, it blows out, but your data suggested that the news was going to be a negative, essentially.
Because it's really very simple with this stock. If the short interest increases, people buy. If it decreases, they get out. Independent of any capital structure, any hedging activity, anything that they're changing business strategy, it's very simple. There's one indicator that drives price action. We happen to be the world's best at it, and we understand when we see covering in that particular stock, it's a bearish signal.
So it was covering ahead of the
short interest down. And then when short interest goes down, and we do publish it every once in a while on X, people understand that, okay, I guess that means that short sellers aren't going to lose as much money. And, the general public probably does not understand that people short the stock versus the convert, and the company's raising money. And, the whole ape thing where you had that crazy thing where people were getting diluted and they didn't quite understand that they were getting diluted. It doesn't matter. It's a very simple. It's a very simple way of looking at one data point and applying it to the price action of the stock.
And let's just in a short sale, right? You're not purely short.
Not at all.
You hold some of the stock as well.
That's exactly right.
You may cover your short, and then knowing that the shit's going to hit the fan in a day or two, you sell your stock. So remember, people think that there are just white hats and black hats out there in trading. There is none of that. These people are, traders are just all. What's the way to put it? They're agnostic.
They're up and down the capital structure.
And they're agnostic. They're agnostic, and they're opportunistic.
And they're opportunistic. But the narrative, and we were just talking about, Elon Musk and X and the Twitter deal. There's a lot of reasons for people to sell stock. Mm-hmm. And part of that is to finance something that is more senior than stock. So maybe a convertible bond, maybe straight debt, et cetera. There's all sorts of reasons why people short a stock, and that's generally to hedge themselves against another instrument and or a negative view on the stock. But that gets lost in the mix with GME. People look at short interest, they say it's going down. Okay, I'm out. And you've seen this precipitous fall in the stock in the last 3 or 4 days. So we had that right call, and it was a great call.
Amazing.
Next week we have one more.
Okay.
Jabil Industries, the ticker is JBL. It's a high-tech services company. It'll publish on the 17th. And, what we've seen is the stock is up slightly going into earnings, but short interest is down about 10%. So there's every reason to believe that this stock will pop after it announces earnings on Tuesday. That's our call for the week.
I'm going to hold you to that. I'm only kidding.
Yeah, well, listen, that's why by the way, this is a really interesting thing. We do at the start of every show, we put up our scorecard because we want the accountability.
Of course.
We want the viewer to understand that this is now free. And we were right. Maybe we should put it behind a paywall, Charlie. We will,
that's what I'm saying.
Eventually.
Get it while the getting's good, because
Get it while it's getting as good, because it's not going to be free for a long time. I promise you.
Right.